welcome to Doodly everyone. This is your host Matt Fry. It is just me again today. This is going to be a short video and it's going to be kind of different. I'm suffering from little tendonitis, so this is A, going to be late, and B, it's not going to be a full-on drawing video. What this video is going to be is I'm going to be redlining my old artwork. I'm going to be redlining my old artwork to see if I've improved my what they call artist eye, to see if I can tell the difference between some of the things I did right and some of the things I did wrong. So we're going to go through and I'm going to look at my first ever digital illustration, which is this guy, the Steampunk Engineer. I created him 3 years ago, something like that. I have some prints of him and stuff, but obviously there are some problems because it was my first one. So let's start out by saying, here's my pen, there we go. This sense of scale is way off because it looks like there's a palpate here. This dude would have to be like 12 feet tall to be even close to that. Plus it's got this weird slant instead of like a curvature to go up kind of like that. So first of all, there's that. Over here, it doesn't matter so much because we have a human for scale, so we can tell that's really tall. So this should be much taller. We won't go into the robot very much because he's kind of fun, but if you zoom in, I didn't put like any detail on these guys, mostly because from back here, no matter what I had put on them, you wouldn't see it. Let's get right into Mr. Engineer here. Let's address this first. These arms are different sizes. I think this one is the closest to being okay. This is baby arm. So if you swing this like this, you can see that his wrist only comes to his hip. That is not the appropriate distribution. Your hand should fall somewhere around your mid-thigh, like this hand section. So that's a difference of about 8 inches or so, which is a lot when you're talking about human proportions. In this elbow, the elbows typically come at the bottom of the ribs. So we see that's way off. Now this one is closer to okay. It's a little enlarged. I think I thought I was doing perspective. That's not the case. So that was the first thing that stood out to me. Yeah, and you can see the size of the forearms are different. The hands are very different. Yeah. So there was a lot going on there. But yeah, this one is the closest to being right. So if we go through and we look at his structure, as I would call it. So this is kind of where his ribs would be. Got his shoulders. Nothing offensive there yet, and this is his pelvic area. He has like no pelvis, so that's also a problem. There should be, something happening, but yeah, so I kind of skewed that a little short. This guy's knee is right here, so if you're thinking about this as a 3-dimensional tube, these legs are a little short. And his feet are small even from a perspective standpoint. And I think that occurs with both of these. Yeah. It's a little harder to tell because he has like this bulky jumpsuit on. But yeah, look how thin this thigh is in comparison to the calf. He's gonna have cankles for sure. So not only should the thigh have been larger than the calf, the leg should be longer. I mean, these are just generic things. Of course, every body is different. Nothing's ever the same. There are a few rules that will help us get a decent anatomy every time. So I've got them all marked up there. Let's look at this face. So, we've got the kind of the base area of the head. So you can see his head kind of slants, like his jaw comes out really far. Which I guess you could argue like he's doing a weird thing with his jaw. That's not excusable to me. So kudos on me for trying to do the teeth. That's something. So if I were to redo that, it would probably fall more like this. And the other thing you want to think about is your mouth, nose, and eye placement. So fun fact is the top and bottom of the ear are pretty much, the bottom of the ear is where the nose would go, and the top of the ear is where your eyebrow typically is. So his head would be a little, we'd have to push it in, and then we'd have to resort out where his eyes and, well, his nose is kind of there. And then his eyes would be, let's get a nice curve on this, there we go. And you also want to make that compensate for the fact that this is a 3D object, so you're going around instead of just straight across. And that ear would probably have come in a little bit more. Would have started in, and of course the mouth is typically lined up with the bottom of the jaw. So if you come across like that, his mouth is kind of where it's supposed to be. Just if I nudged it over, I really should just scrunch up his face. So that's how we would fix that, and then we would have to make sure that our proportions are somewhat right for his height. So it's usually about 3 head heights to the groin area. So 1, 2, it's roughly there. Yeah. But his legs would not have made that cut. Even if you tried to think of it 3-dimensionally, he's skewed a little torso heavy. So I'm not going to redraw him right now. Like I said, my tendonitis is still acting up, so I can't draw much. But if I were to redraw him, those would be the big areas to look at, is the arm, his head shape, his head angle probably too, and making sure his legs are a little bit longer and have a consistent volume between the two of them. That's all I have to say about this one. We have the scaling, the detail in the back, and fixing his general proportions. Also, from a conceptual standpoint, I don't think they'd build a building so close to the edge that it would be in danger of landsliding at any minute. So that's a critique on me and how I designed it. I am kind of happy with these clouds and how I did the light source. Kind of happy with that. But yeah, if you guys want to see me do a complete redraw of this piece, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave it in the past where it is now. I might do some other redlining of some other pieces. If this helps you, if you have any other questions or anything like that, leave a comment below, email me, whatever, and I or Josh or Josh and I or Terry will talk about it and try and go over it. All right, bye.